I went on this t-shirt cutting spree because most of the medium shirts that I have don't fit my upper body anymore. And I will be making a video about how to gain muscle after losing a lot of weight, because I know a lot of people are scared to eat after losing weight just like I was. I was a skinny dude, so that's when I was wearing all these medium shirts. And I also watched a video from the Hodge twins about how to cut shirts.
Today, I'm going to show you so you can look like a douchebag in the gym just like me.
I guess I had to take my gym stereotype to the next level. And I'm awful at arts and crafts. I was the little kid that could not color inside the lines whatsoever, so you know I definitely cannot cut in a straight line.
Yeah. You gonna look like you wearing a damn jigsaw puzzle, you missing some damn pieces or something.
Yeah, man, you don't want that, man.
What's happening, everybody? This is going to be the last part of the beginner's gym guide. I'm so glad that I got all these videos up and out to you guys. These videos can definitely help out anyone that is trying to get into the gym and just needs an idea of workouts that they can do. So if you have not seen the beginner's gym guide, the push day, or the pull day, please go check those out before watching this video, because it's probably gonna answer any question that you could have. But if you're just here to learn how to squat, that is the main thing that I will be going over in this video, is how to squat, because at my gym at least, it seems that the squat is the biggest ego lift that I see anyone come in here and do. If I actually see someone doing the squat correctly, I'm surprised, because most people that come in here barely squat down and they just load the bar up with ridiculous amounts of weight that they cannot properly do. So I'm gonna go inside and warm up, do a couple warm-up sets, and then we're just gonna jump straight into how to squat. The squat is something that will take time to learn and do properly. Do not rush into the gym and try to start stacking on a ton of weight and use improper form. You're gonna see a lot of people go into the gym barely squatting down, and these half squats are gonna put a ton of unwanted pressure on your knees and soon lead to an injury. So go check out my video talking about ego lifting and avoiding injury for more on that subject. However, do not be afraid to learn and practice a squat, or even the deadlift. Both of those exercises are extremely beneficial for your overall muscular development. Yet, both of these exercises can cause injury if you are not doing them correctly. Some people avoid squatting and deadlifting because they say that their back hurts after doing the exercise, and most of the time, if your back is hurting, that's usually due to improper form. So learn form with very light weight and progress from there. And let's say that you have never really tried to squat, or you're just beginning to, I suggest do some goblet squats with a dumbbell. You know, have your chest up, back straight, weight out in front of you, drop down to where your elbows are practically touching your knees. This way you're gonna get a feel for dropping down and doing squats with some weight, and it may help you translate over to the barbell squat. And your core will develop over time while learning how to squat, and you will need that strong, solid core. So when it comes to wondering if you need like a weightlifting belt or any other equipment, the answer is no, not when you are first starting, and probably not for quite a while. Let's go over where you're gonna place the bar. Now, when you're first starting, you're gonna place it wherever it feels comfortable. I'm showing you right here a little bit of a higher squat. This is gonna be used more of your quads, and you're gonna be more upright. I'm gonna drop the bar down just so you can see what that looks like here in a second. But when you're first starting, you just wanna find wherever it's comfortable. I like to put it where I have it here. This is a lower bar squat. So you're gonna be placing it, and you can change that placement over time with what feels more natural or what makes you feel and do better form. And as far as hand placement goes and where you put your hands on the bar, once again, that's gonna be wherever you feel comfortable. However, you do wanna have them somewhere to where your back is going to stay tight. So if they're way too far out, you may find it very difficult to keep your back tight. Now let's go over the many mental cues that you need to be thinking about when you're learning how to do squat. There's going to be a lot of mental things and things that you're going to be thinking about, things that you're going to be saying in your head, to where you're going to say, okay, I need to stay tight. I need to take a deep breath into my stomach. I'm going to be driving through my heels, and I'm going to keep my chest up. There's going to be a lot of things that will come naturally throughout time, but when you're first starting, you may feel like there's just so much going on, but you have to get into the gym and you have to practice squatting to learn these things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what I was talking about earlier, and that's staying tight. You don't want to have the bar leaning to the left and to the right and your body's just kind of flimsy. You need to keep your upper body very solid and tight throughout the entire exercise. And a way to help doing that is taking a very deep breath and filling up your stomach. Now, when you take a deep breath, a lot of people take a deep breath into their lungs, then they fill up their chest, but you actually want to take a deep breath, put that air deep into your stomach, and use your abdominal wall to keep your body firm and standing upright and staying tight. You're gonna have your chest up and your toes are gonna be slightly pointed outwards. Now, when you drop down into the squat, open your hips up. Don't let your knees kind of stay forward. You wanna let your knees track outwards. Your hips are gonna be opening up, and you want to make sure that you are hitting proper depth. Now, this is probably the biggest thing that I see people do the most incorrectly, and I talked about this earlier, is squatting down low enough. If you are using proper form and your form is where it should be, you are not going to injure yourself by squatting low. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to touch your butt on the ground or anything like that, but you need to be going at least parallel or slightly below parallel when you're squatting down. If you're not getting at least parallel with the ground, you are not going low enough and you are performing a half squat, and that will injure your knees. So what I suggest you doing is taking out your phone and maybe recording yourself squat several sets, and recording yourself squat maybe heavier, because when you squat heavier, you're gonna see your form either deteriorate or stay where it should be. And that's going to give you good judgment on if you are squatting low enough. So make sure that you are hitting depth every single time that you go to squat, and then try to get in the habit of squatting the same way every time. Get into the habit of putting your feet in a certain place every time, your hands in a certain place, the bar in a certain place. That way you can learn that position and then strengthen yourself from there. Now let's move on to the rest of the leg workout. And unfortunately, since I didn't have anyone to help me film, the camera angles are probably going to be pretty terrible. But next, we're going to have the leg extension. And with the leg extension, the main thing to keep in mind is to stay in control of the weight. Don't let yourself fly at the top of the movement and just snap your knees when you're at the top and then go flying back down and let them bend backwards too far. Stay in control of the weight the entire time. And this is going to be a relatively higher rep exercise, so you're not going to be going super heavy and putting a lot of unwanted pressure on your knees, but just be sure that you are staying in control of the weight the entire time. Next, we're going to have the lying down hamstring curl. Now, the same thing is going to go for this one. You need to be staying in control of everything. This is going to be a thing that you're going to hear me say constantly, stay in control of the weight. And it's mainly because of the amount of people that you go around and see in the gym, and they're just using complete momentum. I've seen people do this exercise where their entire chest is coming off of the pad just to get the weight up behind them. And just like any other exercise and any of these routines that I'm showing you, if your gym only has, let's say, a seated hamstring curl, then feel free to do the seated, or if they have both, you can mix it up. My gym only has the laying down hamstring curls. This is the only one that I'm able to use and show you guys, but feel free to mix it up or use whichever one your gym has. Moving over towards the leg press. Now, the leg press is another one of those exercises that you do not want to just load it up with a ton of weight and completely compromise your form. You want to make sure at the bottom of the exercise that your butt is not coming off the pad. You don't want to let it to where your entire lower body is lifting up to where your knees are practically touching your ears. Put your feet about shoulder width with your toes pointing out slightly and letting your knees track outward. Bring it down, and then when you're going up, don't let your knees snap and lock your legs straight. You're going to be stopping right before your knees lock out. After the leg press, we have the walking lunges. Now, with the walking lunges, this is one that you want to make sure that you're stepping far enough outward. You don't want to be taking these little tiny steps, and then when you're coming up, you need to be pushing through the heel of the foot that is flat. I see a lot of people when they do this that they're pretty much leaning completely forward and they're pushing off of their toes and then falling into the next lunge. Make sure you're pushing through your heels, staying up straight, leave your chest up, and then just walk for 20 steps. The next exercise is something I used a ton to strengthen my lower back. Now, a lot of you may know that I actually had a very bad herniated disc when I first started losing weight because I was running on the treadmill when I was still very overweight and just putting way too much pressure on my lower back, and it led to injuring myself simply by running on a treadmill. But ever since then, I've never injured myself again because I really tried my best to focus on form arm and make sure that I'm not snapping anything up. Now you saw that I just was not using weight and now I'm adding some weight. If you can easily get like 10 or 12 reps and still able to do more, go ahead and add in some weight. Just make sure that you are doing this slowly and controlled. Don't let yourself just swing all over the place with your back rounding. Keep your back straight, stay in control of the weight, bring it up slowly, bring it down slowly, and this is really going to help strengthen your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back. Lastly, we have the calve raises. Now my gym doesn't have a proper standing calf machine, so I just use the Smith machine with this little thing under my feet. It works. Use what your gym has, but the most important part about any type of calf raise is that you are not bouncing up and down. When you go to the top of the movement, you want to squeeze and contract your calves and then go all the way down and come back up. I see so many people go into the gym and they're just rocking the weight up and down, using their muscles as like elastic bands. So make sure you are really not using momentum on this exercise. At the top of the exercise, you are contracting, squeezing, and feeling the muscle work, then going all the way down, coming back up. Don't like hold on to the handlebars, lean backwards, and just rock up and down. It is not gonna benefit you at all to be bouncing all over the place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you got something from it, and if you are still watching, please do me a favor, go on down, drop a thumbs up, it really helps me out. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Now I'm gonna go do some cardio, aka play Pokemon Go.